What up, Casper?
Good.
Nice move on indices.
Yeah, I smacked SPY.
Yeah, really.
I got.
It was,
My bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it was pretty played out really, really nice.
Yeah, NOS, dude. You want to know some really fucking sad shit I did on NOS this morning? I put the wrong stop and just got stopped for no reason. Like,
oh,
look, this was like what my trade looked. Are you on my screen?
yeah.
This is what my trade looked like. So we took the sell side liquidity, shift in structure, that right there, and on the MT4 for some reason, I don't know what I did, honestly, bro. And then I looked, I was like, damn, they fucked me. And I was like, wait. And I looked at my order and it was like this low.
Oh,
Look at that shit, bro. And that,
oh my god.
yeah, bro. So, and I was targeting this. But it's okay, whatever. I caught SPY and my ETH long's up, so I'm trying. It's so dumb that like I just have to laugh it off. Like that was just fat finger stupidity.
It's one of those things.
But yeah, look at that. I got ES though. I ticked ES right. Like I didn't even mark it. I don't even mark my shit up unless I'm like showing it really. Like I just count the.
That's
Like
how I
caught ES right in this area. And honestly, I looked at ES like the better opportunity today because if we look at ES, so you see how ES took the low that we made during the lunch hour yesterday and NOS didn't. So I looked at it as heavy, but then it's like NOS was definitely the cleaner of the, well, not, I guess cleaner and, well, I mean, I guess I'm just probably FOMOing. So this is 3R. And then this would have been, I'll just put it right there. No, it would have been better.
much better.
Right. It's all right. But, you know, at least the bias was right. I mean, this is clean. Price just returning to a discount, taking out sell stops. Now it's going to take a buy stops. I would say the overall target most likely will be this up here. I don't know if it'll get there today. It could, but I mean, it's a big move. You know, it could also.
I see what you're talking about, like 12,150.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, no, exactly. So
yeah,
where I got that was, so I took the morning move yesterday. I can't remember if it was this to this. And then I looked right there. It's a 100% move of yesterday. Also, nice little imbalance above it.
You JLing it, right, Casper?
Holding it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm still in it, bro. You know what? I was just telling.
Did you just say JLing it?
I was just telling
Yeah.
Hunter, I fucked up. I fucked myself, bro, on NOS like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that price action was too crazy, so I went with ES, and I filled out the fair value gap.
Well, I was in
at the
it,
bottom.
but I put my stop at the wrong position or the wrong thing, like a fucking idiot. I was in right here, like in this little leg. Stop loss here, but whenever I was in MT5, I put my stop loss at this low for whatever stupid ass reason. And I don't look at my trade, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm about to be up. And I looked back, I was like, bro, what the fuck? And I thought MFF like fucked me for a second, but no, I just fat fingered it. Literally, we were just talking about that with Longway yesterday, and then I'm like, I never do that. And the day later, fat fingered the fuck out of it. Because the thing with ES is like, you know, by ICT logic, it would be the stronger or better opportunity because the SMT divergence. So you see here, NOS did not. So you would have looked at ES as the asset that was being manipulated more and accumulated, which it could still end up being the better opportunity. If it goes all the way up here, yeah, that'd be a better opportunity than that NOS. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, NOS, in my opinion, was a little bit cleaner this morning, but we still have, you know, quite a bit of room on ES. It's coming into the lunch hour. You know, we are coming up to this Phyllis imbalance. We could see a little retracement and manipulation through lunch, but for right now, I'm just holding it. ETH still in ETH. Oh, wow. Oh, let's go.
We're still in ETH, right?
Hell yeah.
I haven't been looking at it.
No,
I think my Litecoin might have got stopped out from yesterday. That position
I was actually just looking at Litecoin.
Look at that shit. It's busting, bro.
I thought it was going to go. Bullshit. I thought Litecoin was going to go a little into here and then up. I was just talking to Mayne. Litecoin's going for this high, though.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%. Because, like, the way I look at it, we had our range, right? We formed a range here with these. Price came up, took the high, came down, took the low. And since the overall higher time frame is bullish, I wouldn't just look for a premium. I just look at this as a buying opportunity. Or one could look at it like this. You know, we just now took the low. Oh, crypto. I mean, I wanted to long Bitcoin, same situation down here, but I just didn't take it because I wanted to play. And honestly, this was clean as absolute shit. Look at that. So you would have said first fair value gap in a boom. Stop loss. You could have been real. That would have been aggro in my opinion. But I've noticed, bro, Bitcoin is becoming a little bit like it's a little more clean. Like you could have taken that, and then target would be. I mean, really, I would be trying to play the power of 3. You know, in this bitch, I would probably target all the way up here.
Yep.
But damn, I should have just taken that shit. Fuck Nas.
My spy's about to hit profit.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're moving, and Bitcoin is flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need ETH to go straight to 1475.
I'm about to start selling calls on Tesla in a second and fucking take people's money.
Nice. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I'm gonna sell those fucking 320 calls when we get closer to them.
So somebody asked for XRP. We've actually been talking about XRP a lot.
That bitch is at 41 cents, bro.
Is it really? Oh my god.
Yeah, look,
Are you
it did the
kidding me?
thing, bro. It did the thing.
It's above the equal highs. I mean, I'm not gonna try to short this yet. I know we were talking about it, but
Nah,
I'll just
fuck that.
yeah, I'll just be pretty upfront. I'm personally not.
This
Isn't
shit's gonna
the
run.
when is the judgment or the release of what's it called? The release of the what the fuck? I accidentally posted a trading view chart and lessons. You know I did that.
That'd be dope if I didn't put a stop loss on fucking Litecoin on accident. That'd be super.
Yeah, that's how I'm on NOS. I don't even want to look at NOS. I bet it's fucking railing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's okay though. I think ES is gonna make a nice move. I don't know, man. ICT's kind of been fading himself the last 2 days. I'm not even gonna cap. Like he said yesterday, like right here, he's like, we're gonna seek the sell side. This shit flew, which I was. Remember, I don't know if you were in there. I was in there with Senpai and Mayne, and I was like, bro, I don't care. Like I'm not switching my bias. And then this morning, he said something like,
yeah, no,
don't
I'll sell
even
tomorrow.
trade. He was like, don't trade, and I was like, bro, it's like giving the actual perfect model. I just feel like he sometimes talks too much to try to give that God complex shit. I don't know. So I'm like, bro, it's like this is what you teach people to execute off of, fam. But Bitcoin would have been clean. See, if I hit that on the fund, I'd be out like 80% already.
Yep. Well, I'm JL in this fucking ES position on my funded. It's up 1,300 right now.
So shit, let me go back up to XRP. I forgot.
It's so close.
But XRP, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I notice a lot, like people, and I'm not saying this is what you're doing, Joe, but I notice a lot. People, if a coin just rails, people start getting interested in it. And like, that's not how you really want, you want to be in it before that. So you can learn it, study from it. I mean, to me, the way I look at this is I wouldn't short it, but if I'm looking at the, move that we've made, I look, really there's not a clear liquidity target, any premium. So I could see it maybe move up, close a day, maybe make an imbalance, something along those lines. But I see it as we've hit what I was, had looked that we were drawing towards with these equal highs. So now is one of those times where, you kind of chill. For instance, if the 15-minute starts to show bearish structure, you might be able to catch a short back down into equilibrium, something along those lines. But other than that, this is one of those that kind of like the move that you wanted to be a part of was getting in down here in this imbalance and taking it to the equal highs. Or taking to these equal highs, or even this high. Those would have been all great narratives to play on, but so I said ETH. So I think ETH has made the low. I hope so. I'm in the long. I like the power of 3 narrative. We have this accumulation here, manipulation, and then potential what's it called? Distribution. Really, the ideal target is going to be here. I would leave a runner up here. I know this looks like this is where I'll be out most of the trades at 1475. But yeah, I like ETH here, and the reason I like it, to review a little bit, we had this massive range we'd played within right here. Right, we came down, we took the sell stops into a daily and weekly imbalance, and then I saw the 15-minute start showing signs of displacement to the upside. So this is where oops, we didn't even get the actual ideal entry because I wasn't watching that time. The ideal entry would have been right here, right in that first imbalance in a discount of the impulse move that shifted market structure. That would have been the ideal, position. But, it's okay. I looked here, and this is a good example of like a lot of people in the chat, when I'll give a signal, it might be like, so let's just say if I gave a signal right here and it was like right here, people say, oh, it's gone. And it's just like, well, I look at it as if that's just building my bias. Like, yeah, I didn't get the most crazy entry, but I just look at it from the perspective of like, okay, is my risk to reward good enough? Yes. Okay. I don't think then I don't think you've missed the trade. But for XR, just to sum up XRP, I know I'm jumping around. I didn't want to just leave you there, Joe. But I would chill on it. If anything, I would wait for it to come back to a discount. You just took the equal highs. Now if you see the 15-minute form some structure up here, where you see something like this, and then a displacement break of structure, you could maybe catch a short down into this liquidity. But that's really the only setup that I see that, it's not there yet though. And it probably won't be today. Could be, but that's just where I'd be at. Now, if you just start to see price just move straight back down, I would just look at it like it's kind of rebalancing. If you can see consolidation, break structure to the upside, continue to seek the buy side. Because until you have a reason to, everybody wants to always short stuff just because, I'm not, that it's pumped up or it's met the the draw on liquidity, but you got to wait for that confirmation. So he said GBPNZD. I haven't looked at this one in a while. You can see it's been a while. Last time I played this guy, I clapped on it here. Let's go back. RIP. This one got smacked. But we'll go ahead and do a little. It's been a while, so. You just took those equal highs. That would have been what I would look at as the draw. If you had those equal highs, you came up and took it. Here was your impulse move. So okay, now you've taken your draw on liquidity. So at this point, I would be pretty reluctant to long. I think there'd be lower probability. You've taken a lot of the buy side out. Not to say you won't or can't go higher, but the probability is lower because you're in a premium. And if we look, let's just take this over here and we'll mark it from just the most recent little impulse move right here. I see a pretty clean low right here. That could be viewed as sell side or just, internal liquidity. It's not going to be your major area of liquidity, but there will be stops there. So you could potentially see something move back down into that area. Now I look at this as, okay, we hit the daily liquidity. Here would be a shift in market structure, or you could targeting this low, whatever, that displacement. Fair value gap, the selling opportunity there. Now to where, you could target, if you wanted to be real crazy, you could maybe target down here in a discount, but I think you'd be trimming heavily along the way, maybe even here, because you look at the risk to reward. You don't want to get greedy. Let's just say you took that trade. Even there, it'd be a good trade. You could take it all if you wanted, but I would look at it in a more selling perspective right now. But that's kind of just where I would be at with the pound New Zealand dollar. He said, when I first started to really grasp things, that you struggle with mental pressure for making it a priority to find decent risk to reward setups each day. Yeah, I think that anybody that if you there's a difference between a daily goal. Like, I almost don't like the term goal. To me, it's like more of a stop trading thing. So for instance, let's just say I have a daily goal of 3R, which I do, then that doesn't mean I'm just going to continuously force myself to trade till I get it. It just means that if I do get that, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I don't look at anything else. If I'm in positions, I break even my stops. I protect that 3R and I'm done. That's the way I look at it. It's more like a stopping point. I don't look at it as an expectation. So I think from that perspective, you'll be able to do better with that. Possible long on Rune. What do I think? I haven't looked at Rune in a little bit. I mean, if anything, I would be more biased to be a bull. Look at those equal highs. So, I wouldn't just trade all the way up to that, but, you could look for trade ideas around that narrative. So, I look at this over here. Let's take these highs. Okay, we did. A little 3 tap. You might have some lower time frame power of 3 here, a little accumulation, manipulation, and then a distribution up to that 3 tap right here. That stops right there. So if you go down to like a lower time frame, like a 5-minute, after we came under this low into this imbalance down here, you really could say this low. Price came right into that imbalance. You can go down to like a 5-minute. Shift in market structure. Came down into the, I don't know if it came into a discount of the impulse swing. Actually, it did. Right into a discount. So you could have just maybe, let's just say you caught that right there. I could see the long idea. Something like that. I don't really trade Rune too much, so I don't know how much it's going to respect this, but that's what I see on it. It would have already hit one trim right here. Next trim would have been right here, and then fully out up there. And if one, really wanted to, could leave a runner because, again, our bias is bullish. So if we're bullish and that's your strategy, you might leave runners. I think it can be good for psychology for some traders. And this is where I talk about everybody's different. So like a key to being a good trader and building a good strategy is you really do have to be real with yourself and get to know yourself. And that's one thing I love about trading is you learn a lot about yourself. So for instance, if you're one of those traders that you know yourself and you're still developing and you might have like FOMO, say if you close it all here and you're honest with yourself and say, I do make mistakes sometimes, and FOMO back in, maybe leave a very small runner, like just something for your psych, and then be aware of that issue and try to fix it. I'm not saying use that as a crutch forever, but that's one thing I think can help some people. If you know that, if you close it here and price does this, and then, you're going to kind of like FOMO in here and give back the gains you made here, because price is just doing its normal thing, then maybe hold a runner. That way, you don't have that happen. Or let's just say like price goes up and you're one of those people that tries to short it. That's another thing is like if price goes up, people won't realize and they'll try to revenge short it and they might take a short here and get stopped and go against their bias. Having that runner pretty much forces you to say, okay, I have to close this runner if I'm going to go short, so that's another thing. With alts though, I would really focus on like indices, crypto, not crypto, with Bitcoin. I keep telling people this, like, stop trading a bunch of alts. I promise you can do fine with just Bitcoin and just Ethereum. Because that's really the total market cap has been decimated. A lot of money is being moved around in the financial world, and most of it is on index futures and on the stock market itself, of course. But, guess what's reliant on the stock market? Bitcoin and Ethereum. Guess what's reliant on Bitcoin and Ethereum? Altcoins. So if you want to play something that's going to have your TA a little bit more expected a lot of the time, you'll want to trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. And switching up pairs all the time on what you trade, that's another bad habit people have, because then you never really get to know the instrument you're trading with.
Have you noticed more and more people getting into indices lately too?
Yeah, 100%. It's what's hot right now. Forex is not that great in my opinion. Crypto, if you're playing Bitcoin, it's cool. You got a nice entry here, could have taken some profits. But like, I don't know, man. Like, there's a few alts I like trading. Like, I have a little watch list. What I did was I just looked at the top market cap coins. But even some of these move like ass. And they're just, you can have your TA violated expediently if you're not paying attention to Bitcoin or Ethereum. So my perspective on it is like, why? I genuinely don't understand it. I mean, I do, because I know at one point I looked at it like, well, alts move more. You make more money off alts. That's just simply not true. I promise. Just not. You make plenty of money off just Ethereum and Bitcoin. I promise you. Because it doesn't matter. People say, oh, well, they don't barely move any percent. Well, now that's not the case. They definitely do, because their market caps have been, and their prices have been destroyed. And then on the other hand, with that narrative, it doesn't matter how much they move as far as percent goes. It's like, how much risk to reward can you get? You know? But that's kind of the way I look at it. Are you entered on the fair value gap on pound New Zealand dollar? Hell yeah. There you go. That's a perfect snipe right there. Daily liquidity rate, 15-minute displacement break of structure, entry on fair value gap. Butter. I want to look at DXY. So DXY this morning took some buy side. Did I actually take it? I can't remember. I know I was. Oh, yeah, there you go. It did. You got a nice movement to the downside right here. Similar setup we're just talking about. Taking higher time frame liquidity, displacement break of structure, fair value gap. You know, now we have this imbalance we are kind of just sitting in, so it could reverse because that move up. But if we look at the daily bias, for me, I look at it like this imbalance is kind of just lurking here. It's unmitigated. You know, if we take the recent impulse swing we're in, we are at a premium. So I would have to look for more of a bearish narrative. Now that's, you know, DXY can have a mind of its own, especially whenever we have FOMC coming up, an interest rate decision tomorrow. It's the highest impact news there is for all markets. So, you know, things can get a little weird. And then if we look at the full daily range, we have equal lows and a discount. But, you know, again, DXY has a mind of its own. Somebody said Mayne, trader Mayne, said something along the lines of taking 6 trades in a month and only focusing on Bitcoin and ETH. I promise you, if you're like, I don't day trade crypto that much. If I'm trading crypto, I want to catch like the bigger moves, because for one, my spreads are not the greatest. So when I'm trading, you know, lower time frame movements, you know, a 3R can become like a 2R or 1.8R. If you know what I mean, if you're not careful and you're not accounting for your spread. Because, for instance, this trade that like the little, I didn't take this for those that are, I don't want to act like I signaled this or took this, but let's just say you did. You have to go ahead and up your position by $30 to account for a little bit of stop loss. So that went from, you know, I mean, it's still a good trade, but it's, you know, not as optimal as if you didn't have a spread. That's not a terrific reaction from the equilibrium of this range. I will say that. But well, that'd be this range. I was going to say, no, I wouldn't look at it like that. NQ coming down this fair value gap. ES really hasn't taken any highs yet. I'd probably look for, and by the way, those who watched the stream yesterday, you guys literally heard me say, I said, when we were trading over here, I said, okay, after lunch, and it was right around 12:45, I said, watch for a liquidity rate into this fair value gap. I swear, and like it was fucking people's bias, because I remember somebody asked me like, well, ICT said sell side seeking. I was like, with all due respect, I don't care who anybody says, I'm not going to change my bias. And I'm glad that I didn't, because it's exactly what we did. Rated into the fair value gap, just like I said, right around 130. Happened a little after. And then price expanded the upside, gave an entry. All right. If you got the snipe, if you enter down there. But I mean, it's you know, it's not, you don't want to overthink things. Don't ever let anybody else change your bias, because this was clean as could be. Right? What's this long way? Algo, I got you on that. Frizz. Where'd you put that out long way? Crypto chat, probably. Oh, holy shit. Look at that. This is one of the traders we got. He's 95% hit rate. This is a good example of somebody who trades one asset. All he trades is XRP, fucking kills it. Look at that. I mean, there's so many urges that people have. Like for instance, I try to conceptualize things and look at them on a broad perspective. So for instance, if you have the perspective that you have to trade tons of alts to get money, well, that is based upon FOMO. That's what that is. But it's manifesting into your selection of what instruments you trade. But it's a much more deep-rooted problem, and it's rooted by the belief that Bitcoin and Ethereum don't move good enough. So then you take, kind of the fool's gold of trading a lower cap coin in hopes that it's going to move crazy, or chasing a coin that's been flying, and you take that bait, and then you start, you know what I mean? And those little things, well, if you learn that and look at them in those perspectives, they will teach you a lot about, your problems. And once you start to find the root of your real problem, that's when you can start to change those beliefs. That's when you really start to change as a trader. Thoughts on euro dollar to the depths? To the fucking depths. What's it doing? I haven't watched it. Oh, there you go. I don't even want, that's butter. Right? I don't know what that is. That's supposed to be BSL or imbalance. But look at that. And that was probably a very, very free entry. I guarantee it. Oh, actually, no, you didn't get an entry. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no, you did. You did. Right there. So again, you just wait for that displacement. Yeah, this wasn't it. None of this was it. This was your displacement. There. Impulse move. There's POI and a premium. Now this one, I would have probably just sold it as soon as it came back to right here. Because you have that fair value gap fill at a premium. Oh my God. Talk about MT4 bus. And if you caught that, holy shit. That would be fucking nuts. I don't know if we'll have too crazy of an afternoon today with indices. We'll see. I don't want to try to really predict the volatility, but somebody said I can relate, tend to study too many different things and trade too many different things. That's another thing. Studying and reading too much. Like if you're profitable, and I've tweeted this, if you're profitable, like stop watching shit as far as like new strategies and because the whole idea of this is to be profitable. It's not to, and I was just telling somebody this other day. It's like, where do I think, and this is the problem that I see that like Wyckoff does to people is like, you'll look at stuff and think like what's going here, then here, and here. You don't need to know any of that shit. You literally don't need to know it. It matters nothing to your actual profitability, which is the goal of why we're doing this. So knowing like the craziest TA or, knowing, I think it's going to go here, then here, then here, then it's going to do it doesn't matter. All that does is pollutes your thought process and confuses you. And so can trying to learn a bunch of new strategies, or there's always going to be another strategy. There's always going to be a better way or some better, way to do things or this and that. It's always going to be like that, So I think it's really important to just focus on, your model, focus on one pair or 1 to 3 pairs, focus on one time of day, and you're going to become a lot more patient. You're going to trade a lot less, and you're going to learn a lot more because you're not like just staring at the screen trying to find trades all day. Because if you allow yourself, there's always going to be another trade or another thing to watch, or that's just addiction at that point. So he said, I prefer to trade ETH over Bitcoin. ETH seems more consistent and less predatory than Bitcoin. Yeah, it's definitely less predatory. Bitcoin is very manipulative. It definitely can be very painful at times. I was watching ES even down in this region right here. And then also this fair value gap, I was saying we could. I mean, if you reverse, you could come down and take this low. But it was starting to give the signals down here. I was still in a long, and you know, I hadn't trimmed it at that point. But you know, I was kind of like, I could see it over here. You know, you're in this imbalance when you're up in this price action. Price moves down. Not really tons of displacement. I was just kind of case studying. Price goes into here, and then I was looking at it from the sense that it was trying to learn the algo, if you will. That, you know, there was still a imbalance down here unmitigated and this sell side liquidity. And I looked at this right here as a little range, right? We came up into it. You could have came back down to a discount, took out the liquidity, and then moved. Who knows? That might be what it's going for now, but I wouldn't count on this to just be a crazy rebound. But I was just watching and I was like, okay, you know, because really all we're doing whenever we basically try to anticipate, you know, we're getting our entries, we're just determining whether these orders are getting filled or not, and if the sell orders are outweighing the buy orders, so to speak, where if the, you know, that's how we determine what liquidity is being sought after. Because if all of one liquidity has been taken, price is going to move to opposing liquidity, right? That's why we look for buy side liquidity whenever we're in a bullish order flow, because all of the liquidity rests above those highs. So in this scenario, I was looking at it like, okay, we reacted to that fair value gap. It's a low probability because we're not we're not at a premium of the range at this point. The impulse move, which was this right here, and it wasn't really the craziest displacement. So I was wondering, I was like, okay, well, if we take this, then you would move up, but it basically is just, you're looking at it from the sense that, okay, well, this just got absorbed and the inefficiency of demand was still prevalent at this point. Gala, I got you. Oh, wow. It took out all the lows. Played Earn Gaming in pain. I mean, if you were gonna rebound, you know, it'd be here. I mean, I wouldn't bet the farm on it just because we took the liquidity. Doesn't really seem very, in my opinion, this doesn't seem like there's much interest. This just looks like normal stop absorption. They're getting filled, but it doesn't seem like smart money is buying the dip just yet. Is there a different chart? Yeah, I don't know. Shit looks about like a fucking rug pull, don't it? I wouldn't touch this. He said, oh, on a different note, on Twitch to crypto. Yeah, no, I already know. I don't even give a fuck about Twitch, to be honest, but I can't because the streaming client I have, it doesn't have crypto as a thing. I don't know why, because I do it from like a thing, like a streaming client. When I go to Twitch, it doesn't allow me to pick crypto. I don't know why. I was damn near about to stop streaming on Twitch because it's just kind of like this thing I paid to be able to stream on multiple platforms, and I do Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, but I really just, you know, YouTube is the one that gets used. So I'm kind of like, you know. That move I know got erased. Seemed like these equal highs was a nice draw right there. Violent move for the lunch hour. What's DXY doing? Kind of just
I just
chilling.
need I just want SPX to close as close as 83860 as possible. I will be happy as fuck.
Right?
I got a Theta strategy. Risk $30 to make 470.
Hell yeah.
If it closes at between what is it? If it closes between 3855 and 3865, I make fucking $500.
Fuck
Well,
yeah.
400. Only risking 30. So we'll take that if no.
Oh yeah. Add a leaky dot, I got you. Seems pretty weak in my opinion. This doesn't seem like there's much interest for. I was putting some TA up about it yesterday, but again, it's just with alts, man. I swear sometimes you just don't. Some of these alts, they're not. This isn't what the price, or this isn't the asset that institutions are looking to manipulate. You know what I mean? Because not everything is going to be ideal or higher probability setups. Again, that's why I just say to watch Bitcoin, and because like for instance, this setup looks good, right? But while Bitcoin and Ethereum have made nice moves, DOT has done absolutely fucking nothing, which it could still make a good move. I'm not saying it won't, but it doesn't show me that. Here it showed it. Lackluster reaction, consolidation. This doesn't show me yet that there's much interest in it. I mean, yes, the lows are getting taken. Yes, despite some of the upside, but again, it's just like it looks like the rest of crypto, but there's not as much interest in it. And you're not troubling me. I don't want you. I'm trying to just tell you out of experience. I used to do that, but I'm telling you, it's not. Your focus is better to just really build a narrative on Ethereum and Bitcoin, and trade just them, because you could. Let's just see. Meanwhile, while DOT's done nothing, Bitcoin's made a huge move.
Casper, are you just looking at like crypto or in it, like commodities or anything in
I'll
general?
look at anything that has a ticker.
Gold, if you have done it already, or
Sure, I got you.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Of course. So gold, I mean, it's not. It's it's at a discount of the daily impulse swing. Got this imbalance right at equilibrium, so I would look for, if anything, longs, but I don't really see. It's coming to where you might want to long it, but to me, this looks like we came up, came back down to this order block. Sorry. Got some equal highs up here, all relatively equal. You could start to, but again, it's not really showing that desire just yet. I think that tomorrow will bring a lot more. Like tomorrow, gold's going to move pretty crazy, most likely with the interest rates. But kind of lackluster this morning, huh? Just like everything, really. I mean, the stock market had a nice small move, but I would look for, if anything, I would look for longs, but I don't think it's given longs, if that makes sense. Would I recommend to use retail methods on the unmanipulated alts? No, definitely not. I would never tell you to use retail methods, and that's just because it's completely opposite to what I trade. Just stay with the large caps and ride the manipulation, because like that's what we want to do is we want to trade with institutions. You know what I mean? We don't want to trade those other the other, what's it called, little alts.
Also, I was wondering, you ever traded WTI before? Started studying it today. So if you could just look over it for a second, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Hold on 1 second. I'm actually replying
All right.
to something. So, okay, whoa, somebody said it gives flashbacks to the bull run of 2021, people buying Litecoin or XRP and waiting for the 4K per coin hype. Meanwhile, none of that could outperform new layer ones or even the other big ones. Yeah, I agree. Now, you said, what was the ticker on that, Vanch?
WTI. I'm pretty sure it's oil. Yeah, it's
oil. I usually do. I haven't ever done this one. I always do CL. CL is a little cleaner of a chart. So Oil, honestly, I traded oil. Remember that, Hunter? That fucking long smacked on oil. But I think oil looks pretty good. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on oil, like from a daily time frame. This is just engineering tons of stops. But yeah, I mean, oil looking pretty good, if you ask me. We need to start showing displacement of the upside. I mean, it's not there yet, but you know, again, it's one of those where I'm looking at like, okay, you know, we could even come down and take this low, but from, you know, a macro perspective, I'm, you know, see this from a more bullish perspective than anything. I don't really like trading oil though. It's another one that's like it's fickle. Like I traded it. That's the only time I've ever actually taken a live trade on it and it hit, but it's almost like I got lucky because I look at a lot of the other price action. I'm like, damn, this shit. But yeah, bullish overall. I mean, tons of buy side above these highs. If you start to show displacement here, you'd probably come out to this imbalance. All these highs may come back down, then up to those highs up there. What did indices end up doing? They just get erased. Are they hanging out? Yeah, they're just chilling, but maybe see a potential move up into this imbalance, but we'll see. Again, it's the day before the FOMC, so you're going to see a lot of weird price action and volatility. That can always be expected, just because the dollar is going to be moving in a fickle manner. Crypto looks stronger almost than fucking indices right now. But because the way I was looking at all of crypto pretty much is the same: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. I don't like how far we've fallen back here, to be honest. It's always not really ideal. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, the manipulation really theoretically is down here under the low. So you would draw this a little differently. So we haven't fallen back under the, but once you go back into the range, the accumulation range, you tend to want to stay there, consolidate around equilibrium, push up, but that was a nice target on NOS. Doesn't seem like she's going to want this buy side at that point because it seems as if it was just rebalancing to equilibrium of this entire move. Came out to premium first thing. It seems like it was drawing to, and now, I mean, there's really nothing to draw to except the lows down here. I always have fun doing this, just seeing like what's the most HNT pump my miner bags. Hell yeah. I need the pump. Oh shit. Give me the pump. For those who don't know, I have HNT miners. Probably the worst crypto investment I've made. No, it's not that bad actually. I bought 10 of them. It was like $5 grand, and I've made probably like $3 grand back. But the hopes were to make much more than that. They took like a fucking century to get to where I ordered them, and then 3 of them didn't even work. And the Bobcat team that I bought them from basically just like shunned me on customer service. Like I would ask them what the what should I do with the ones that didn't work? They would wait like so long to open up a ticket. It would be like weeks, and then they'd open a ticket, or they'd email me and be like, hello, and then 5 minutes later they say, looks like you're not here, contact us again if you need help. And it's like, bro, holy shit. Crazy. A lot of these alts are like straight dinosaurs now at this point. Oh, Algo. My bad, Frizz. I completely fucking forgot about Algo. I apologize. Is there more? Yeah, Algo. I just now saw it again. My bad. So let's go ahead and clean this up. I mean, he took that. Tons of equalos there. So if you're looking at the full daily range, I don't know if you hit into that or not. You might end up pulling into that, but after that, I would look for a big move down. Prior to these lows be the first stop. Yeah, and the weekly fair value gap's full. You might not even have to fill that, to be honest, because you did have this down here. And if anything, I would look to short this over long it. It's not really giving it all the way. I mean, I'm kind of just chilling. I would be chilling shorting crypto, but if I'm just looking at this chart only, it displays when it breaks the structure to the downside with fair value gaps. This isn't going down, maybe to grab this liquidity and go higher. But if you do start to get displacement, breaks the structure to the downside, I'd look to start shorting, probably down to like here, imbalance fill, equal lows. You see what I mean? And the reason for that is just the daily chart, because we're in a premium of this impulse swing. This is the biggest move I see. All right, so we've got sell side liquidity down here, equal lows right above it. We came to the premium, the fair value gap, weekly fair value gap as well. So both, all the liquidity we're drawing to is met, and then we look, okay, if we're in a premium, do we have liquidity targets in a discount? Yeah, we absolutely do. We've got internal sell side right there, equal lows, and then all our sell side liquidity of the range down there. So, be more short biased. CHC, yeah, I got you. That has not wanted to stop. It's going crazy. I mean, you never know. It could end up just going for this. I mean, it's pretty crazy. The monthly chart is ridiculous at this point. After that, close. Sorry, excuse me. But you took out this major low, and then now we've got 2 months closing higher. So it could be just drawing up to the next area of liquidity, which I think was this low or this high right here. I mean, that's a stretch, but it's a possibility. The daily chart. I would look at it like this. The most recent range. So you're kind of just bouncing around. You know, for instance, if you get above these equal highs here and you start to form that pattern we're talking about, with the, you have the move up, displace break structure in a 15-minute, you could look for a short really down to the bottom of the range, trimming along the way, of course, but that's more or less what I would see with this as far as an immediate bias. I wouldn't be most likely trading it right here because you're high up in the range. You're most likely drawing to the highs, but it's a lower probability trade model since you're in a premium and you'd be still looking to long, in my opinion. But yeah, I think the best opportunity would be to wait for those highs to get taken. So do I look at the chart from my left side or from top to bottom? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I just look at everything. I don't really look at it from, I just kind of look at it. I never thought about it like that. Actually, much talking to you, Adaliki. Just telling you not to look at the alts. No, I mean, I don't know. I'm at the end of the day, I can only give you advice. Whatever you want to do, I'll always try to assist. But I just feel like they're lower. It's just lower quality price action. That's, I mean, hell, I barely even trade crypto. You know what I mean? If that tells you anything, I like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but you know, that's not where my focus is. My focus is on indices. Do I analyze from the left to figure out the direction and the possible pullback? I don't trade that kind of structure. I look at it just kind of like, where is liquidity? You know, what's our dealing range? What are we drawing to? And then I get my bias from that and I build trades around that. And I don't enter a trade unless there's some kind of liquidity rate. So if I can determine, okay, well, I think this is going to go higher on this daily candle, then at the beginning of my session, I'll look for a liquidity rate in the opposing direction of what I'm looking for. For instance, if I'm bullish on the day, well, I'm going to look for the sell stops to get rated, and then I'm going to look to go long. I'm going to target buy side liquidity on lower time frames, previous daily high. If there's a previous weekly high, I'm going to trim there. You know, that's the way that I just kind of try to build my narrative is, you know, are we bearish or are we bullish? And then I look for an entry based upon that. Now, I might trade against it, but I risk half what I would usually risk if I'm trading with my bias. So, you know, it's just the way I look at it. If we're in a premium and we have liquidity targets and a discount, and we've taken liquidity recently on the buy side, I look to short, and vice versa. If we've taken the sell side and we have targets in a premium, I think I might have said the first one backwards. Let me just visualize it. So for instance, if price has done this number and we came up and take this liquidity and we've got an imbalance here, I'm bearish. I'm going to look for liquidity rates to get short and take it down here. And then once we're here, I look, okay, do we have liquidity here in a premium? Okay, then I might be bullish. I look for, you see what I mean? And I just try to do it like that. So I try to keep it simple. I just need to know exactly what I need to know. And hell yeah, good shit, Adaliki. I'm telling you, like, just try. You got all the time in the world. If you're looking to be a professional trader, you got all the time in the world to trade. You know what I mean? You're not gonna just watch Bitcoin or Ethereum, or just watch one asset for the next week or two. You know, what's a week or two in your career? Probably do better than usual. Because even myself, I was watching more than, a couple pairs, and it wasn't like I was doing terrible. I mean, I got funded trading a couple different pairs. I was watching a couple. I traded some Euro Yen. I traded some GU. I traded some gold. I'm not saying it's like impossible, and but yeah, exactly. So you lose more trades, and then that's the big thing is you miss the good moves when you do that because you don't have that narrative. Like, for instance, like this morning, I'm watching one thing and I have one plan. And if that doesn't happen, then whatever. I sit there. If it does happen, I execute. I win, great. I lose, cool. Next day. You see what I mean? It's very simple. It takes out the psychology. It takes out a lot of the thought, and it's all about defining your edge. You know, it's like Mark Douglas talks about. If you can have, like, you know, the more specific, the more, you know, direct you can be. Like for me, I trade ES, NOS, Bitcoin, Ethereum. You know, when do I trade them? New York session. What am I looking for? A liquidity rate. When am I looking for it? In the morning session, nothing on lunch, or after 1:30. When do I stop trading? 3 p.m. You see what I mean? So I can really hammer down and fine tune my strategy like that. And then if that doesn't work, there's very few things that I might have to change. You see what I mean? Like if I'm just looking at every 4-hour POI on 40 altcoins and trading 15-minute change the character, and I'm getting wrecked, there's going to be a lot of digging I have to do to determine, like, what am I doing wrong? Where am I fucking up? It's not like I can change, you know, one little thing and tweak my strategy and it changes everything, because there's so many variables. It's like a science experiment. And the more variables you have, the longer it's going to take you and the less accurate your data is going to be. So, and trading becomes almost a little boring when you do it like that, but it's like the best feeling. Like even me, I'm still honing my stuff now. Like just in the last 2 weeks, I stopped trading everything except indices, and it felt fucking amazing last week. I took 3 trades on my fund account last week. That's it. And it was awesome. Usually I take way more than that. I take a couple a day, even if they're for small wins, break evens, losses, whatever. But I just took 3 trades. It was exactly what I was looking for. And that was that, you know? I didn't trade. I didn't even need to trade on Friday. I said, fuck it. There's no reason for me to trade. You know, why would I keep trading? I've already hit my goal. Done. But on that note, I am going to hop off here, guys. Let's take one last look at indices and Bitcoin. So down here, probably would look for some form of price action to form front running this imbalance. Now, to be honest, if you get some form of liquidity right here in this imbalance, you could maybe short, in all honesty. That would be against my daily bias because I wanted the day to go up. But like I said, I'm not going to not trade if that presents itself, because to me, the order flow pretty clearly bearish right here. Now, it could just be a rate on liquidity, but that's what I would watch for. I would say NQ would be the better of the pairs to watch because it never took the low down here. And ES did. Or let's just say you don't get that and you just get massive expansion to the lunch. Well, then you're going to continue the morning move. If that's the case, I'm just curious as of this right here. So you need to probably look for somewhere in that order block, maybe the highs. I don't know, but that's that's the 2 scenarios. I know it's kind of like up or down, but I'm just, if you see a liquidity rate into an imbalance on the buy side, and then you see the 1 minute start to break structure down, probably target the sell side. If you don't see that, probably continue the morning move or just consolidate at the end of the day. Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think Ethereum's still looking good. We're still in these longs. I'm still holding them. This is just, still playing out. I'm letting the market do the work. The dollar is extra sus today. Could just be coming into that imbalance. Try not to get too crazy at the lower time frames, but you could just be rating these equal highs in the imbalance. Okay, I've said it before. I don't really like watching the dollar on a lot of stuff. It's funny. My brain still sees harmonics because I used to trade them. It's probably not one because they're equal. That's my brain still is wired to see that. Unless you look at it like this, then that wouldn't be because the D point needs to be extended if the C is greater than A. Oh wait, I don't have the A in the right spot. Never mind. That actually could be something. Or does force have to be a bat? No, it's not far enough for a bat. Not in my book, at least. I would look for, when I used to play these, I don't want to get off topic. I know people are like, what the fuck, you trade harmonics? I used to trade them. Does he even play bit now? I'd look for like 85, 856, or I use a 3% error margin. But yeah, that could be just taking those highs, moving out of that imbalance, and then continuing down. Because overall, I wanted us to move down because the same logic I was using for, I might actually delete this fucking imbalance and all this. I know where we're at. It's against my nerves. But barely pipped that high, which was a daily high and a 4-hour high. So you took the local buy side here, where we've created a range. We have an imbalance under it. It goes to the daily bias. I wanted to see us, if we got this break of structure with, that was good enough displacement to me. 50-minute fair value gap we came up into. So at that point, I wanted to start seeing us target, some of the sell side down here. Down here. Now we'll see how that moves. I wanted that to happen earlier in the week, to be quite honest with you. Or it might happen if FOMC somehow ends up yielding a bullish reaction, but I'm not counting on that. That's when we'll just kind of want to watch it play out. And I'll be streaming tomorrow. We'll stream the FOMC. Yes, Gartley. See, I wouldn't have called it a Gartley just because the B point wasn't there. So the B point for a Gartley needs to be within 3% of 618. And the B point there was like a 42 or something. But the D point would have been more like a Gartley. Also divide, I just now saw that. Yeah, who knows? ES could be just coming back down to mitigate, but I don't know. I don't trust that. We'll see. 130 will bring more clarity. Anyways, guys, wait, okay, I just read this. So not to divert the convo away from this, but I've pretty much limited my trading to US 30 or US 100 for New York kill zone and EU or G for London. Now the problem for me is I've never figured out establishing daily bias, really struggling to even establish daily bias and always second guessing myself. I hope some of what I went over helped. I need to just make a video on it because I've talked about it too. Everybody, that's like the majority of people's problem whenever they're trading a little bit more in depth SMC, in my opinion, is getting the daily bias correct. And it's easy to mess it up. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. Trading one asset will help you kind of, everything has a little bit of a behavioral aspect into it. Once you start to get into, daily bias and, you're trading, it's a little, it can be a little less more of a mechanical process to identify daily bias. You can make your trading process mechanical, like how you react to what you establish as your bias, but establishing the bias isn't as easy as 4-hour POI, 15-minute choke. You know what I mean? So I can get how it's harder, but I might need to just make a video on daily bias. That's actually a good idea. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you all. Stay safe out there. Just be very mindful that we have, like I said earlier, the highest impact news driver that there is tomorrow, which is the interest rates for the United States Federal Reserve. So expect fickle markets and expect heavy volatility tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll be streaming it, so come through. And if you ever have any questions, holler at me. But until then, I'll see you guys later.